Hi, we're here today with Kimberly Berry from AbleTech. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little about AbleTech? I know there are many people already in the field who don't really understand what AbleTech does.
Yes, Oklahoma AbleTech helps people with disabilities to find assistive technology. And a lot of people don't know what assistive technology is, so I'll start just by explaining what that is. Assistive technology is technology that can help a person with a disability to perform a task that they otherwise would be unable to perform. So an individual with a hearing impairment may benefit from having a sound amplification system. Someone who has a physical disability might not be able to use their hands on the keyboard to input text, so they might use speech input. So those are just a few examples of assistive technology that would help a person to be able to perform a task. AbleTech helps to get people assistive technology in a number of ways. We do education and training for teachers and other educators, other professionals, so that they know how the assessment process should be handled. And we have demonstrations and loans so that an individual can try assistive technology to see if it will work before going to a vendor to buy it and then finding out that it doesn't work.
So how would someone go about doing that? So could an individual, as in someone's parent, contact AbleTech, or is this something that has to go through a school?
Well, we will serve all individuals of all disabilities. We will help the families, we'll help the individuals, as long as they're 18. So yeah, in this case it would be the families, or we'll help the educators. So however you come to us, we will help you. If it is a family wanting help, then they can just call AbleTech or go to our website and request help. If it's a teacher, we have an intake form so that they can actually give us information about the student to help us to figure out what technology we might recommend, and we'll contact them. We'll have some conversations over the phone, perhaps a little bit by email, and we'll come up with suggestions and help direct them to what devices or software that they might want to try.
Okay, so let's say in an elementary setting, or actually it wouldn't matter what grade level, and someone is seeing a speech pathologist. And so often we hear that by the time, especially when students get to high school, a lot of times they want to exit the speech program. A speech pathologist may say, hey, we've worked on this for several years. This is as good as it's going to get. Is there a certain level that maybe a speech pathologist would say, we'll keep working on this, but we also may want some assistive technology to help with communication? Mm-hmm. Is it possible to do both?
Yes, and speech is not my area of expertise, but as far as my understanding, it can be happening side by side. The studies show that having a speech-generating device does not inhibit communication. It does not inhibit learning language. In many cases, it actually will enhance the speech communication. So if someone has the capability to speak with their voice, having a speech-generating device could actually encourage them to speak. In most cases, it's not going to be discouraging them from using their voice. So it's something that can and should be considered at the earliest stages for someone who has a communication impairment.
So when you say device, for a lot of us, we think of a standalone, must be this device that works this way. More and more I'm hearing about iPads being used as assistive technology, and I've even heard that AbleTech will check out iPads with certain apps on them. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. Well, a dedicated speech device is just that. It's only going to have that capacity to help them with speech. It's going to have the software on it that does that program. And an iPad with an app, it's basically a scaled down version of that same software in many cases that is going to work on the iPad. And it could be any device. It could be a desktop computer. It could be an Android. It could be an iPad. That's just the hardware basically. But you're right, it's very, very popular to have iPads, and those are the apps that are available commercially right now. AbleTech is a vendor of iPads for speech and only for youth. Oh, it's not for people who are over 18. And that's the only thing that we vend. We're not a vendor for anything else, but we kind of filled the niche of speech generating devices, an iPad being used for speech. There was just a void in that market, not a lot of vendors that were willing to offer it because it's not a profit maker. It's a lot of paperwork and you don't get a deal. So that's something we've decided to help vend. So actually our speech language pathologist will take the client through the entire process. They will help, they'll work side by side with the speech language pathologist that is seeing the client, and then help them with the paperwork, submit the application, usually entails having a video of them using that device, and she'll submit the paperwork, and it may come back with errors. Allison will just painstakingly fix the errors, keep applying until until it gets approved and gets shipped out to the client, and then we'll get reimbursed our money down the road.
Let's talk money. So does it cost anything for AbleTech services? So if you contacted, let's say a teacher wanted to work with AbleTech to either borrow something or for that initial assessment to see what would help the student.
All of AbleTech services are free. As far as our device loan program, they submit the application and then we ship the device to them. That can be at the school, at their home, wherever they want it shipped. We include a return shipping label, and they just save the box and the packing materials, save that shipping label, and so at the end of the loan term, package it back up and call UPS and for the return pickup.
Well, this sounds fantastic. I know a lot of times in education we either get to look through a magazine and you just point at something and that's the way you try it, and a lot of times you can't send it back once it's used. So this sounds like a great opportunity for people. Are there any other programs you would like to share with us?
Yes, I'd like to tell people about a new website feature that we have. It's called AT Discovery, and it's for those individuals, whether they're individuals with disabilities, parents, or educators, that are just needing to explore a little bit and find out more about the types of disabilities that could benefit from assistive technology, and just some examples of devices. So we have AT Discovery section, and then within that section we'll have different pages for each of the disability categories. So hearing, speech, communication, vision, just on and on. And so you'll click on that page, and then it will give an overview of the condition and the types of assistive technology that might help, and then it will just give some examples of assistive technology devices. So we've talked quite a bit about speech. So it would give some examples of alternative and augmentative communication, or AAC devices. And then you can click on that and it will take you to the inventory page to read more about the device. There are links to the loan application form, links to the AT consultation intake form. So, it should all be kind of a one-stop shop, just a really great entry point for someone who's wanting to know about assistive technology. And they can explore all around, and hopefully it will provide a lot of information, and then all of our contacts are there. So the expert who is on AbleTech staff for that category, like I'm the teacher of the visually impaired, so I designed the page, the information for the vision and magnifiers, braille displays, things like that. I'm in charge of that page. My name and contact information is right up front. Allison's information, Allison Robinson is our speech language pathologist, so you'll see her contact information right at the top of the speech communication page. So, we want to make it easy for you all to contact us.
Great. And what was the website again?
It is okabletech.okstate.edu.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.